I didn't think we'd still be making videos about Pierre-Luc Dubois and whether or not he's going to get traded, but a year and a bit after the Patrick Laine-Dubois trade and the entire saga that saw Dubois' name pretty much circulate everywhere, we are still talking about the 2016 third overall pick in potential conversations about his future. Now, the reason we're bringing this up is because on the recent 32 Thoughts segment on the TV, this is during Hockey Night in Canada, we had ourselves Elliotte Friedman, who had a little bit talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois and some potential concerns that could arise with his future in Winnipeg. Here's the video. What is Pierre-Luc Dubois' long-term future? I will leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and watch this because it's just on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. But Elliotte Friedman pretty much goes over Dubois and he highlights the situation over here. He talks about how the Jets are a bad team. They're kind of in the dumps right now, despite the fact that everybody, themselves included, had high expectations of their team. And Pierre-Luc Dubois is a guy with a contract situation that is pretty piquant. He's 23 years old, 6'3", 218, a left-handed center, signed till the end of this season at $5 million. He is a few years away from unrestricted free agency, meaning that in Friedman's words, Dubois controls a lot of what can happen in his future. Now the thing is, Dubois is a legitimately good player. He maxed out this season with 58 points in 78 games. Obviously, there's a little bit more to go, so he can improve there, but still, Pierre-Luc Dubois has been a good hockey player, and he is a good hockey player, and he's supposed to be one of these guys that you could say has maybe a better ceiling than what he has shown off so far, playing for the Blue Jackets and playing for the Jets. He really came into his own this year as a fan favorite, overtaking a lot of the positive reception that Mark Scheifele had over the past few years, because Scheifele's sort of downfall, okay, no, not downfall, that's a little bit too harsh, sort of decline. He had a bad season, Mark Scheifele did, and where a lot of Jets fans are going out there and talking smack about Scheifele, the same Jets fans would be turning around and saying, okay, yeah, but Pierre-Luc Dubois, that guy's good. He actually works hard and he does his thing and he's a pretty okay player, so we're not going to treat him with the same level of scrutiny that Mark Scheifele has been getting. And I'm just talking about the way they play, not the points, because Scheifele did produce a lot of points this year. It's just kind of funny because there are still many that believe that this is a down year for Scheifele based off of how he's been playing outside of the point score sheet. But when it comes to Dubois, Friedman had this concern that said that because Dubois has a lot of control over what happens, because he is a few years away from UFA status, because of all these concerns, we don't know if he's going to stick around. And so there was the idea thrown around that if Dubois just kind of wants a little bit more, or if the Jets and Dubois are not able to agree on whatever it is the future could look like, Friedman said he wouldn't be surprised if Dubois' name enters the trading sphere one more time. Now, we're going over on Spectors Hockey from when the heck was this? Today? No, yesterday, April 24th, 2022. Let's talk about what exactly it is Lyle Richardson says when it comes to Dubois. This is the summary of the Friedman radio hit. Friedman believes Dubois' contract talks with the Jets will be worth watching this offseason. He is an RFA with arbitration rights sitting 2 years away from UFA status. Friedman speculated Dubois' name could be out there on the summer's trade market if the 23-year-old center and the Jets fail to reach an agreement on a long-term contract. This is Spector's note on the situation. Dubois is completing a 2-year deal with a $5 million AAV, but an actual salary of $6.65 million for this season. CapFriendly indicates it'll cost the Jets $6 million to qualify his rights. I dare say he will be seeking more than that on his new contract. The Jets have $63 million invested in 15 active players for 2022-2023, with Dubois as their priority signing. They have the talent to be a better club than they have been this season, but their defensive game needs improvement while their scores need more consistency. Whatever moves they make to address their issues this summer will likely factor into their contract discussions with Dubois. He'll want assurances the Jets can get back on track and become a perennial playoff contender. He will also want to be paid as a first-line center, a role he took over from Mark Scheifele during this season. He could seek $8 million annually, which could mean shedding a high-salaried player to free up the cap space for this new contract. Now, pause. That is another aspect we didn't really highlight too much, but it was kind of hinted at. Dubois has been good, really good this season, so much that Scheifele has kind of taken a back seat, not just in the perspective of the fans, but in the deployment of the minutes as well. Dubois, third overall in 2016, was supposed to be a top-line caliber two-way center with some offensive flair and some very good defensive stability. For the most part, that's what he's shown off, and it's been pretty successful for him at the NHL level, albeit just with a few bad teams here and there. And, I mean, okay, the Columbus team that he was on wasn't really all too bad. They beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs, did they not? But the way Tortorella was using this guy was very strange, and you could see that there was inevitability for him to get traded, which is what happened. It's just now that Pierre-Luc Dubois is in a situation where he's got this amount of control, there might be a few seeds planted for him to control his own destiny. Having given up Patrik Laine to get Dubois last season, it wouldn't be a good look for the Jets to start peddling him this summer. They might not have much choice if he only wants a 2-year deal taking him to UFA eligibility. However, I believe they'll get him signed to a long-term deal, but it will be expensive. Now, that's the only thing. If they're not able to do that, if the cap space isn't enough, if the money that Dubois is asking for is a little too high, that's the entire reason Friedman made this radio hit TV hit. It was on Hockey Night in Canada, for crying out loud. That's the reason he made this TV hit, saying, yeah, I could honestly see, if it doesn't work out, the contract negotiations, Dubois ending up on the market once more. And so we go back to 2016. And we look at the players that were taken around and seeing just what exactly is going on with these guys. Because, yeah, a lot of these players are expiring now. Patrik Laine, his RFA deal, it's going on till this offseason. Same with Pierre-Luc Dubois, same with Jesse Puljujarvi. All these guys, top 4 picks, so 2, 3, and 4 overall in the draft. They're all expiring this offseason, and they all have pretty interesting situations as to how these negotiations are going to go. For Puljujarvi, okay, we haven't made a video about this yet, but I kind of want to. It's, this guy does not score as much as you want him to, but he actually makes everybody around him better. How much is that worth? Who really knows? For Patrik Laine, there were other controversies, but we've documented that a whole bunch on the channel, so I don't really think it's necessary to talk about them here again. For PLD, it's a level of responsibility. He is good enough to demand a high amount of money, especially considering that he was the guy this season for Winnipeg. But the Jets have other priorities. They need to fix that decor. Pionk, Schmidt, they're not getting it done. Morrissey's in his prime. You can't waste that. So where do the Winnipeg Jets go from here? Let me know in the comments all your thoughts about that. And also, if Pierre-Luc Dubois does not end up re-signing with the Winnipeg Jets, he ends up wanting a little bit too much money and the Jets don't want to bite, or there just isn't an agreement on term because Dubois maybe wants 2 years because he can be a UFA once those 2 years come and go, but the Jets are like, okay, no, screw it, we want to sign you long term. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts about how you think those negotiations are going to go, but I also wanted to open the conversation up as well as to the idea of him not re-signing in Winnipeg if you are a fan of another team. Because we have a few fans of other teams that are watching these YouTube videos every day, so I very much appreciate you for that. If you're a fan of, let's say, the Bruins, or the Canucks, or the Habs, or the Red Wings, or the Kings, or, I don't know, the Dallas Stars. I don't have too many Dallas Stars fans here on the channel. That's kind of something I want to change. But if you're a fan of some other team, and Pierre-Luc Dubois is all of a sudden on the market, with all this stuff in mind, UFA status, he's a good player, he can demand a lot of money, would you trade for PLD? Would you make a proposal that says, okay, even though this guy might not be around long term, even though we might not have the necessary funds to sign him with the players and the cap space we have, well, we might need to free up some cap space, is this still a guy you would want to go out there and acquire? There are some teams that do need some pretty capable two-way centers, and playing for Winnipeg, he certainly was a good one. So, if you're a fan of any other team, let me know in the comments what is the price you would be willing to give up for a Pierre-Luc Dubois in a trade-like scenario. And you gotta remember, it's not Pierre-Luc Dubois you're trading for, it's the signing rights to Pierre-Luc Dubois. You have to do the negotiating yourself, sign a contract, and do all that work. It's not something where Winnipeg is going to get that done for you, because Winnipeg, we just said, we might not see some proper negotiations, or not proper, but healthy negotiations between Winnipeg and PLD, because there just might not be an alignment of what these two parties want and value. So you can let me know in the comments all your thoughts about Pierre-Luc Dubois. If you're a Blue Jackets fan as well, what do you think about this? Because Dubois and the Laine trade situation, it was a really big deal, and a lot of people are going out there and giving their 2 cents in Columbus, Ohio. Plus, I see a lot of Columbus fans in my comment section saying that I need to make more videos talking about Columbus topics. So, yeah, I know you're a pretty passionate fan base out there. You can let me know in the comments what you think about this Pierre-Luc Dubois Winnipeg situation as well. But either way, I'm interested in seeing what you have to say about PLD. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.